One normal kitchen habit quietly ruins your food and your wallet. 33 dumb food mistakes that waste money. Today, 33 dumb food mistakes people keep making at home. Like stuffing the fridge so nothing stays cold, then everything spoils. Stay for number 33, because the last one is insane. Leaving food in the danger zone, then tossing it. One forgotten platter can turn dinner money into landfill fast. On a humid Saturday in Miami, Aisha hosted a backyard cookout. Her friends lined up early, then left food sitting unnoticed. Chicken skewers cooled on the table while people played cornhole. An hour later, the sun moved, but heat stayed trapped. Aisha lifted foil and smelled something slightly sour and sweet. She checked a kitchen timer and realized time had sprinted. Everyone helped bag leftovers, then hesitated, then tossed them. Nobody was sick, but everyone felt the waste sting. 2. Shopping without a meal plan, then wasting half. Your grocery bill can double when Monday kills Sunday intentions. In Seattle, Marcus shops after work, starving and overconfident. He grabs meal kit vibes, but without the actual plan. Salmon, tortillas, yogurt, and 5 vegetables pile into baskets. Tuesday hits. His kid has practice, and takeout wins. By Thursday, the cucumbers slump, and the fish smells sharp. Marcus starts cooking random combinations, just to use something. He realizes he bought ingredients for meals he never made. The fridge looks full, yet dinner still costs extra again. 3. Buying bulk produce, then watching it rot. That bargain bag can quietly turn into the priciest purchase. In suburban Atlanta, Sophia hits Costco right before dinner time. She grabs a giant clamshell of strawberries and a melon. At home, everything looks fresh, bright, and unbeatable tonight. Then the week races by with meetings and kids everywhere. On day 4, the bottom layer starts leaking syrupy juice. She lifts the lid and finds bruises hiding under perfect tops. Suddenly she is sorting fruit, saving some, dumping more. The savings vanish when half the haul never gets eaten. 4. Throwing away leftovers because they look old. You can throw away dinner twice without even tasting it. In Denver, Kevin opens containers from last night's takeout. The noodles look darker, so he assumes they turned bad. He orders new food, paying delivery fees like a tax. Later, his roommate Lena reheats the same leftovers safely. Kevin realizes the color was just sauce soaking into pasta. Now he is annoyed, hungry, and stuck with 2 bills. He checks the trash and sees the untouched container staring back. Leftovers rarely look glamorous, but they still cost real money. 5. Storing bread in the fridge so it goes stale faster. A cold loaf can feel safe, yet it ages faster. In Brooklyn, Nora buys a warm sourdough from a corner bakery. She puts it in the refrigerator, thinking cold means fresh. Next morning, the crust turns tough and the center feels dry. Nora blames the bakery, not the storage choice she made. She tears off chunks, but the slices crumble like old foam. By lunch, she gives up and tosses half the loaf. That night, she buys another loaf and repeats the mistake. Bread hates the fridge because staleness speeds up inside. 6. Buying fresh herbs without a storage plan. Fresh herbs can die faster than your enthusiasm for cooking. In Los Angeles, Diego buys basil, cilantro, and mint together. He dreams of tacos, pesto, and fancy water all week. By day 2, the leaves droop like sad confetti. The basil turns black at the edges, then slick. Diego keeps opening the bag, hoping air will fix it. Instead, each peak adds moisture, then the smell shifts. He finally dumps the bunches and cooks without the flavor. Those tiny bundles add up when they keep dying unused. 7. Ignoring use by versus best by dates. Date labels can make perfectly fine food look suddenly dangerous. In Minneapolis, Rachel finds yogurt marked best by yesterday. At the store, she buys the same brand again immediately. Back home, her brother Sam explains best by means quality. Rachel checks the fridge and finds 3 other items discarded early. She realizes labels became a fear button, not real information. Now she wishes she had smelled and checked texture first. Confusing labels can drain wallets one cautious toss at a time. 8. Not labeling containers so food gets forgotten. An unlabeled container can turn lunch into a suspicious mystery. In Houston, Jamal meal preps soups on Sunday night, exhausted. He stacks identical containers like bricks, then rushes to sleep. By Wednesday, he cannot remember which one is chicken. He opens one, hesitates, then closes it without tasting. Another day passes, and the containers keep migrating backward. Friday arrives, and every tub feels older than it is. Jamal dumps them all, then orders lunch twice that weekend. A marker would have saved food, money, and a lot of doubt. 9. Cramming the fridge so nothing stays cold. A packed fridge can still fail, even when it looks perfect. Before Thanksgiving in New Jersey, Priya crams every shelf full. Turkey, pies, casseroles, and groceries squeeze in like luggage. The back wall freezes lettuce, while the door side stays warm. Priya notices milk smells off, even though it is new. Then the deli meat looks gray, and the berries soften fast. She keeps rearranging, but cold air cannot circulate anywhere. By Sunday, she is tossing food from every corner. Full is not the goal. Even cooling is what keeps food safe. 10. Keeping the fridge too warm to save electricity. A warmer dial can turn your fridge into a slow-motion spoiler. In Phoenix, Omar tries saving electricity during a heat wave. He turns the fridge warmer and feels smart about it. 2 days later, his lunch turkey tastes oddly sweet. Omar checks a cheap thermometer and hates what he sees. Suddenly, he is sniffing milk, eggs, and leftovers nervously. His partner Mia starts labeling everything as questionable, just in case. By Friday, they toss half the fridge to avoid risks. The tiny savings disappear when groceries spoil quietly behind closed doors. 11. Leaving milk in the door where it spoils faster. Milk can go bad early without ever leaving your refrigerator. In Columbus, Erin stores the gallon in the door rack. Her kids pour cereal all week, opening and closing constantly. By Thursday, the milk smells sour, even before the date. Erin blames the store, then buys another gallon immediately. Same result happens again, and the pattern finally clicks. She moves milk to the back shelf, colder and steadier. The door is convenient, but convenience can be expensive. 12. Storing potatoes and onions together, they spoil faster. 2 harmless vegetables can team up and ruin each other. In Boise, Tyler stores Idaho russets beside Vidalia onions. After a week, the potatoes sprout eyes like science fiction. The onions turn soft, and that sharp smell gets stronger. Tyler peels one potato and finds a weird sweet rot. It feels like a prank, but it is just chemistry. 13. Leaving berries unwashed, then letting mold spread. One bad berry can quietly bankrupt an entire carton overnight. In Portland, May drops strawberries into the fridge after shopping. By morning, a fuzzy spot blooms on one hidden berry. May opens the lid, and the smell hits like sour candy. She tries saving the top layer, but spots spread fast. May watches red fruit slide into the trash like cash. Sorting takes minutes. Cleaning up mold feels like losing a bet. 14. Washing berries too early, then they mold faster. Overcleaning can make berries rot faster than leaving them alone. In Tampa, Jasmine washes blueberries the moment she gets home. She wants them ready for snacks, so she feels prepared. Then she seals the damp berries in a tight container. 2 days later, the berries look dull and start collapsing. Jasmine finds puddles inside, like the container is sweating. She wipes them, but the moisture already did its damage. Now she's tossing a carton that looked perfect on Monday. Sometimes the rush to be healthy makes food spoil quicker. 15. Putting hot food straight into the fridge. Hot leftovers can sabotage an entire fridge like a domino. After a game night in Detroit, Ben finishes a big chili pot. He slides the steaming container straight onto the top shelf. Inside, the fridge fogs up and everything feels slightly warmer. His deli meat sweats, and the lettuce turns limp by morning. Then wonders why multiple foods seem off at once suddenly. He realizes the hot container warmed the whole box overnight. Now he is throwing away more than just the chili. One shortcut can raise the temperature for everything nearby. 16. Not cooling big pots fast enough. Spoils overnight. A giant pot cools slowly, and time plays dirty. In Nashville, Carla cooks turkey soup the day after Thanksgiving. She leaves the pot on the stove, planning to portion later. She falls asleep during a movie, and morning arrives fast. The soup looks fine, but the smell is oddly yeasty. Carla stirs and feels warmth still trapped deep inside. Her friend Jordan refuses a taste and calls it risky. Carla dumps gallons, shocked at how much effort disappeared. Big volumes hide heat, and hidden heat invites spoilage. 17. Freezer burn from loose bags and bad wrapping. Freezer burn makes good food taste like cardboard and regret. In Salt Lake City, Ethan freezes steaks in a loose bag. He forgets to press out air, and the seal leaks. Months later, he plans a date night dinner at home. The meat has pale, dry patches like frostbite scars. Ethan cooks it anyway, hoping seasoning will save everything. First bite tastes flat, and the texture turns chewy. He orders pizza instead, while the ruined steak sits there. Bad wrapping turns the freezer into a slow destroyer of flavor. 18. Freezing food without removing air ice. Crystals ruin it. Air in the bag becomes ice that steals taste and texture. In Cleveland, Marisol freezes ground beef with a puffed-up bag. She stacks it behind frozen peas and forgets it exists. Later, she wants tacos and feels lucky finding hidden meat. She thaws it and sees gray crystals clinging everywhere. The pan fills with watery liquid before any browning starts. Marisol keeps draining, losing fat, flavor, and patience quickly. Her tacos taste bland, so she adds extra toppings to cope. That trapped air turned a simple meal into expensive improvisation. 19. Buying frozen food then letting it thaw in transit. Frozen groceries can melt into disappointment between store and home. In August in Orlando, Nate buys ice cream after errands. He gets stuck in traffic, then stops for one more thing. By the time he reaches home, the carton feels soft. Nate refreezes it, telling himself it will be fine. Next day, the ice cream is grainy, like frozen sand. His daughter Ellie takes one bite and rejects it instantly. Nate tosses the tub and feels robbed by his own delay. Cold food needs a straight trip home, not a detour. 20. Keeping the freezer too full or too empty. A freezer can fail two ways: jammed tight or nearly empty. During a move in Raleigh, Chloe packs the freezer completely full. Boxes block vents, and cold air cannot flow properly. The next morning, ice cream is soft while bread is rock hard. Chloe empties space, then later runs the freezer almost empty. Now every door opening spikes temperature like a roller coaster. Her frozen berries clump, then frost builds on everything fast. She keeps scraping ice, wasting time and losing food quality. Balance matters because freezers hate extremes just like people do. 21. Not rotating pantry items FIFO ever. Old food hides behind new food, then surprises you later. In San Diego, Louise buys pasta every trip, just in case. He shoves new boxes in front and forgets older ones. Months later, he finds dusty packages pushed against the wall. One box has tiny holes, and crumbs sprinkle like sand. Louise realizes pantry bugs had a quiet buffet for weeks. He dumps multiple boxes, then wipes shelves for an hour. Now he buys replacements, basically paying twice for the same carbs. First in, first out sounds boring until it saves money. 22. Storing nuts in flour warm so they go rancid. Nuts and flour can turn rancid quietly, like a secret betrayal. In Birmingham, Alana stores almonds above the stove near heat. She also keeps flour in a warm cabinet beside the oven. One weekend, she bakes cookies for a school fundraiser. The batter smells faintly like paint, and she freezes mid-stir. Alana tastes a crumb and catches that bitter, stale flavor. She throws out the batch, then checks both containers again. Everything smells off, so she dumps them and starts over. Heat speeds rancid oils, and rancid oils ruin whole projects. 23. Leaving coffee beans exposed to air and light. Expensive coffee can go flat while you still feel fancy. In Washington, D.C., Trevor buys single-origin beans from a roaster. He pours them into a clear jar on the counter. Morning sun hits the beans, and the lid gets loose. A week later, the aroma fades, like someone turned down music. Trevor grinds more, adding extra scoops to chase the old flavor. Now the bag empties faster, but the cup still tastes dull. He finally notices the jar smells like yesterday, not today. Light and air steal flavor slowly, then you pay to compensate. 24. Using dull knives that ruin food and waste time. A dull knife wastes food by crushing it before you cook. In Kansas City, Brooke slices tomatoes for burgers on Saturday. Her knife mashes the tomato, spraying seeds across the board. She keeps wiping, losing slices, and getting frustrated fast. Brooke grips harder, and the onion skins shred into confetti. Now the prep takes forever, and half the produce looks wrecked. Next day, her neighbor shows a quick sharpening tool and fix. A sharper blade saves ingredients because it cuts clean, not violent. 25. Overcooking chicken until it shrinks and dries out. Overcooked chicken shrinks, dries out, and nobody wants seconds. In Charlotte, Devin pan-sears chicken breasts for a quick dinner. The pan hisses longer, and the kitchen starts smelling like toast. Devin flips the chicken and sees a tough, tight surface. He keeps cooking, afraid of undercooking more than overcooking. At the table, the pieces feel small, like they disappeared. His partner Kayla takes 2 bites, then quietly switches to salad. Devin stares at leftovers nobody touches, realizing time cost him money. 26. Boiling pasta without enough salt, then over-saucing. Unsalted pasta can make you waste sauce chasing missing flavor. In St. Louis, Andre boils pasta in water that tastes plain. He drains it, then tosses noodles with a jarred marinara. First bite feels bland, like the sauce cannot stick. Andre adds more sauce, then more cheese, then more pepper. Suddenly one jar becomes two, and dinner costs double. His friend Tessa says the noodles needed salty water from start. Andre realizes he tried fixing the wrong step too late. A pinch early beats a jar later, every single time. 27. Cooking rice wrong then throwing it out. Oh. Rice can fail three ways: glue, grit, or burnt cement. In Sacramento, Mina makes rice for a big family curry. She guesses water amounts, then turns the burner too high. The bottom scorches while the top stays crunchy and stubborn. Mina stirs, breaking grains, and the pot turns into paste. She adds water, then waits, but the smell stays smoky. Her dad Arjun tries a bite and shakes his head slowly. Mina dumps the pot and orders rice from a nearby place. Guesswork feels fast until it becomes a second purchase. 28. Not using the freezer for bread, herbs, and stock. Not freezing basics makes you rebuy the same things constantly. In Pittsburgh, Sean tosses half a loaf when it stales. He also dumps herb stems after chopping parsley for soup. Then he pours leftover chicken broth down the sink, distracted. Next week, he buys bread, herbs, and stock all over again. Sean feels broke, yet keeps repeating the same small losses. One day, his sister Claire opens his freezer and laughs. She shows bags of frozen bread slices and labeled broth cubes. Sean realizes he paid for convenience when space was already there. 29. Skipping the lid so water evaporates and food burns. Leaving the lid off can turn simmering food into burnt paste. In Albuquerque, Rosa cooks beans while helping her son study. She forgets the lid, and steam escapes like invisible money. Water drops lower, and the beans start sticking to the pot. Rosa hears a faint crackle, then smells something scorched. She rushes back, but the bottom layer is already black. She tries scraping, and bitter bits contaminate the whole batch. Rosa dumps it and starts again, now behind schedule. Heat without a lid evaporates flavor, time, and cash. 30. Cooking on too high heat to go faster. High heat feels faster until it forces you to start over. In Baltimore, Chris heats a non-stick pan on maximum power. He adds butter, and it browns instantly, then smokes hard. Chris drops eggs in, and the edges turn rubbery immediately. He scrambles faster, but the smell fills the apartment. Smoke alarm screams, neighbors text, and the morning feels cursed. Chris tosses the eggs and opens windows in January cold. Now he is late, hungry, and cleaning instead of eating. Cooking faster often means wasting more, just with extra drama. 31. Not resting meat so juices spill out. Cut too soon, and your steak leaks flavor like a broken bottle. In Dallas, Priyank grills ribeyes for his birthday dinner. They come off perfect, and everyone crowds the cutting board. Priyank slices immediately, showing off the pink center proudly. Juices pour out, pooling on the plate like a small flood. His friend Maya says wait, but the moment already passed. The next bite stays drier, and the hype fades quickly. Priyank watches people reach for sauce to rescue each bite. He paid for good meat, then spilled its best part away. 32. Overfilling. The pan so food steams, not seals. An overcrowded pan makes food boil in its own juices. In San Francisco, Hannah cooks mushrooms for tacos on weeknight. She dumps the whole carton into a small skillet at once. Within minutes, mushrooms release water, turning the pan into soup. Hannah waits for browning, but everything stays pale and slippery. she cranks heat higher and steam fogs the kitchen window. Finally, she drains liquid, losing flavor that should have stayed. Her tacos taste muted, so she adds expensive toppings again. Too much in one pan turns searing into steaming every time. 33. Reheating oil too many times off flavor wastes food. Old oil can make fresh food taste stale and weird. In Milwaukee, Jay fries wings for a playoff watch party. He reuses the same oil from last weekend's fries. The first batch looks golden, so he thinks everything is fine. Then the smell turns sharp, like crayons heating up. Friends start dipping in sauce, trying to hide the flavor. Jay tastes one wing and realizes the oil is the culprit. He dumps a whole bowl of wings and the oil together. Reused oil feels thrifty until it ruins the food you paid for. Not saving bones and scraps for stock. Throwing bones away is like tossing free soup starter kits. In Louisville, Denise roasts a chicken for Sunday family dinner. After carving, she dumps the carcass into the trash quickly. Monday arrives and she buys boxed broth for a simple soup. Her mom Elaine asks why the broth tastes thin and salty. Denise admits she threw away bones that could have flavored stock. Elaine pulls a freezer bag of saved bones from her own kitchen. Denise realizes she paid for broth while discarding better ingredients. Scraps look worthless until you see the price of replacements. Throwing away Parmesan rinds flavor for free. A Parmesan rind looks useless until it turns soup magical. In Boston, Marco grates Parmesan for pasta and tosses the heel. He does it automatically, like throwing away a wrapper. Later, he makes tomato soup and complains it tastes flat. His friend Julia asks where the rinds are, and Marco blinks. Julia explains rinds melt slowly, adding salty, nutty depth. Marco remembers he threw away 3 rinds that same week. He stares at his trash can like it owes him money. Sometimes the best ingredient is the part you almost discard. Dumping pickle juice instead of reusing it. Pickle juice seems like waste until you realize its flavor. In Cincinnati, Leah finishes a jar of dill pickles fast. She pours the brine down the sink without thinking twice. That night, she makes potato salad and finds it bland. Her Uncle Rob mentions brine can punch up dressings and dips. Leah remembers the sharp garlicky liquid she just dumped away. She opens another jar just for brine, then feels ridiculous. Now, she has extra pickles she did not even want. Trash decisions cost money when you replace what you poured out. Buying name brands when generics are identical. Brand names can charge rent in your cart without permission. In Orlando, Miguel reaches for the famous cereal by habit. The store brand box sits beside it, quietly half the price. Miguel shrugs and buys the name, trusting childhood nostalgia. At home, his daughter Sophia pours a bowl and shrugs too. She says it tastes the same and keeps eating happily. Miguel compares labels and realizes ingredients look nearly identical. Next trip, he switches and wonders how long he overpaid. Sometimes the only difference is the mascot on the cardboard. Buying pre-cut fruit and veg, huge markup. Pre-cut produce is convenience priced like a luxury service. In Manhattan, Tasha buys sliced pineapple in a plastic tub. It looks bright under grocery lights, and she feels efficient. At checkout, she notices the price, but keeps going anyway. By next day, the pieces leak juice and start tasting dull. Tasha realizes cut fruit spoils faster because it's already wounded. She tosses half the tub and still needs a snack. Now she buys a whole pineapple, plus the tub she wasted. Convenience saves minutes, but sometimes costs dollars and freshness.